The busy city street just stopped raining, reflections shining on the wet pavement. Zendaya walks quietly, wearing a simple outfit and her hat, trying not to draw attention. People pass by carrying shopping bags, young people lost in their phones, car horns blaring, but in one corner, time seems frozen. Zendaya's steps slow down. There, a woman kneels on the sidewalk, covering her face with her hands, struggling to hold back sobs. People walk past without stopping, but Zendaya stops. Zendaya thinking, can someone be this alone, even in a crowd? She approaches slowly. The woman lifts her head. Their eyes meet. The woman's face is dirty, but her eyes hold a muffled scream. Woman, whispering with difficulty, "You don't remember me, do you?" Zendaya freezes. She feels like she recognizes her but can't place it. Her brow furrows. Zendaya, do we know each other? The woman tries to smile but tears fall. Woman, I used to protect you. Now, you've forgotten me. Suddenly the air grows heavy, colors fade, sounds dull. Zendaya's eyes reveal a storm of guilt, curiosity, and familiarity. Zendaya didn't know then she was facing not just a stranger, but a buried part of her past. Some faces get forgotten, but some words burn inside forever. A silence forms between them, like the calm before a storm. The woman looks up and whispers, "I wish I had only protected you." Zendaya narrows her eyes. Her lips tremble. Zendaya, whispering, "What do you mean?" Fade to black. Silence. Zendaya and the woman sit side by side on a bench. The rain has stopped, but the sky is still gray. People walk by without noticing. Zendaya stays silent. The woman's sobs have faded, but her eyes are still locked in the past. When did we meet? How do I know you? Before I ended up on the streets, I was your neighbor. You were just a little girl. Your dad used to argue every night. You'd sneak out onto the balcony and cry. I gave you blankets. You don't remember, do you? Zendaya's breath catches. Her eyes widen. She looks away for a second, then down at the woman's hands, cracked, scarred, and trembling. The woman beneath the balcony. That was you? You always shined a flashlight at me, to make me feel safe. It might have been just a small light to you, but for me, it was all I had left. Flashback. A small girl peers through a rain-specked window, fear on her face. Below, a woman stands in the dark with a flashlight, her smile soft and steady. The little girl clutches a blanket tightly to her chest. Every child needs a hero, but sometimes heroes don't wear capes. Sometimes they live unnoticed, just one floor down. And their lives quietly fade, with the forgotten gratitude of the ones they once protected. Zendaya begins to cry, trying to hide her tears with the back of her hand. What happened to you? Why didn't anyone help? Why didn't I remember you? Because that's how life is. The ones who help are forgotten. But I never forgot you. Because that night, you gave me light too. You looked down and said, "Please don't ever leave me." And I did leave you. No, you survived. And now you're here. That's not a coincidence. Maybe this is a second chance. The camera slowly pulls away from above. The world moves around them, but they sit still. Two women connected by an old wound and a new beginning. The past never truly leaves us. But even in the darkest corners, sometimes an old light finds its way back. As Zendaya and the woman sit side by side on the bench, it feels like they're the only two people in the world. In the middle of the crowd, time slows down in the silence. Can you tell me a little about yourself? Why are you here, living on the street? My name is Miriam. My past, it's complicated. I used to have a family, but life didn't go the way I planned. What happened? My mother was sick. I was left alone with no one to trust. The money ran out. We lost our home. Then I lost my job and my friends. I lost everything. Loneliness is a heavy thing. It is, but worse is the feeling of being invisible. When you're on the street, people stop seeing you. They don't hear you. And now, what can I do to help? I don't know. I want to trust again, but I'm scared. The shadow of the past is long. It's easy to be afraid, but I'm here, with you. We're stronger together. For the first time, I feel like someone's actually listening. In their eyes, there's a flicker of hope. In the middle of the chaos, two quiet souls have found each other. Silence follows, but within it, there's the sound of a new beginning. Zendaya and Miriam are still sitting on the park bench. It feels like they're the only two people in the middle of the crowd. A light breeze moves the trees. The distant sounds of the city echo softly. Zendaya. Miriam, life has tested you in ways most people wouldn't understand. But even now, right here, I see a strength in you that hasn't given up. That strength brought you to this moment. Miriam, taking a deep breath. Sometimes I forget who I am, what I hoped for. When my mom got sick and we lost our home, everything went dark. The streets, they're cold, full of pain. The way people look at you with no compassion. I think I forgot what childhood even felt like. Zendaya, in times like that, it's easy to lose yourself. But your story isn't about falling apart. It's about standing back up. You're still here. Miriam, eyes welling with tears. Being alone is terrifying. At some point, you even stopped trusting yourself. But you came here. You reached out to me. You reminded me I'm not invisible. Zendaya. Sometimes all we need is a hand. A voice that says, I see you. You're strong, but no one should have to go through this alone. There are people who can help, who will understand. We'll get through this, together. Miriam. Facing my past is hard, but I don't want to keep running. I want to forgive myself. For my mother. For me. Do you think a new life is even possible? Zendaya, smiling softly. It is. Your past doesn't define you, it shapes you. And your future is still yours to create. Don't forget, the darkest moments are sometimes the beginning of something new. Health. On that bench, in a city that never stops moving, two women found stillness in each other. Because sometimes, just knowing someone is there can change everything. A quiet pause settles between them as they sit on the bench. The hum of the city lingers in the background, distant cars passing by. Zendaya gently holds Miriam's hand. Zendaya, is there anything else you'd like to share with me? Moments from your past? The things that stayed with you the most? Miriam, eyes soft with tears, taking a deep breath. My mom had cancer. We didn't have money for treatment. Every day, she grew weaker. Then my dad left. Our family just fell apart. We lost the house, ended up on the street. My little sister, she was so young. I tried to protect her, but I wasn't enough. Zendaya, that's such a heavy burden. Facing all that at such a young age, it takes incredible strength. Miriam, barely above a whisper. Sometimes I blame myself for not being stronger, for not saving them. But I think I'm starting to understand. We can't control everything. Zendaya, you're right. Sometimes all we can do is keep going, keep breathing, keep standing. And you're doing exactly that. Miriam, tears falling but a calmness in her voice. Talking to you? It's helped. I don't feel as alone anymore. Zendaya, warmly. You're not alone, Miriam. And from now on, I'm here to help you rebuild. We'll face this together. Sometimes, a simple act of kindness from a stranger can shift the entire course of someone's life. And in the quiet moments, the strongest kind of healing begins, with someone who listens and stays. They begin walking side by side. The city buzzes around them, but for a moment, it feels like the world has slowed just for the two of them. Zendaya, Miriam, I have an offer for you. I don't just want to say I'll help, I actually have a plan. Miriam, surprised and hopeful. A plan? Zendaya, first, we'll get you into a safe place, somewhere temporary but secure, where you can feel comfortable again. Then, we'll take it step by step, whatever support you need to rebuild your life. Miriam, eyes lighting up. Really? You think that's actually possible? Zendaya, it is. Life can be hard, yes, but it's not hopeless. There are still people who care, and you won't walk this road alone. Miriam, biting her lip, smiling softly. No one's ever really seen me like this before. Thank you. Zendaya, you deserve it, Miriam. Everyone deserves a second chance. Sometimes, a sincere word from a stranger can spark the beginning of hope. And in the darkest hours, it's often the quietest voices that shine the brightest. As they walk together through the crowd, the city lights glow gently behind them, rising above. Zendaya wasn't just a star on the screen, she proved, once again, that she's a real-life hero. And the door she opened in Miriam's life was a doorway to new beginnings, new hope.
Zendaya, Miriam, the more I get to know you, the more I see it. You're not just surviving your past, you're fighting through every hardship life threw at you. What you went through, it wasn't easy, but I know the strength inside you is just as real. Miriam, sometimes I feel completely lost. It's hard to explain. I've been away from my family, my home. The streets are cold, but loneliness is colder. Zendaya, loneliness is the toughest enemy, but there's a way through it. We can share your story. There are people who want to help. You don't have to fight alone anymore. Miriam, smiling softly, tears in her eyes. Just sitting with you, it gives me hope. I've never felt this way before. Most people just pass by. They don't see me. Zendaya, but I see you. I know this world can be cruel, but everyone deserves a second chance. You do too. Miriam, breathing deeply, her voice steadier. My mom, she always protected me, even when she was sick. In the end, she died alone in a hospital bed. I ended up on the street. That pain, it never left me. Zendaya, losing someone, that's a wound that runs deep. But your mother's love, it's still with you. You carry her light. Miriam, looking straight at Zendaya. Sometimes I wonder why I'm still here. But now that you've come into my life, maybe I'll finally find the answers. Zendaya, smiling gently. We'll find them together. You won't walk this road alone anymore. A bond had formed that night, quiet but strong. And in the darkness, hope began to glow like a distant star, guiding them forward.
Zendaya. Miriam, as I listen to you, I realize something. Many people in this city know your story, but they don't have the courage to speak up. Maybe together, we can break this silence. Miriam, I know, but most of the time, people just want to see the pain, not the solution. They only see me as a woman on the street. No one really knows the real me. Zendaya, the real you is beyond that pain. You're brave, resilient, someone who holds on to life. I'm here to help you show that. Miriam, with a faint spark of hope in her eyes. I used to have dreams. Now I'm just fighting to survive. But maybe I can dream again, Zendaya. And I'll help you with that. You're not alone anymore. Miriam, my mom's illness was hard on us. I was young, she was weak. I had to take care of her. I couldn't even go to school. In the end, we lost our home. I had to live on the streets. That pain grows inside me every day. Zendaya, what you've been through didn't break you. It made you stronger. With that strength, we can make a new start. Miriam, softly. Sometimes the shadow of the past is so big, it's hard to look forward. Zendaya, shadows are always temporary. When you take that first step toward the light, everything changes. Miriam, I'm trying to believe you. Tonight might be the beginning of my rebirth. Zendaya, we'll do it together.
Zendaya,
sometimes life drags us to the darkest places, but even in that darkness, we have to search for a light. I feel that light inside you. Miriam, with soft hiccups. Sometimes I wonder, is there anyone who can see that light? Making space in people's hearts isn't easy. There's so much hurt. Zendaya, hurt, the weight of the past. But we can let go of it, little by little. With every step, you'll feel lighter. Miriam, my mom's last days stay in my mind all the time. Dealing with her pain, sometimes even breathing feels hard. When I sleep on the streets, I think I hear her voice. Zendaya, gently. Losing someone is the hardest test, but your mom's love will always protect you. Her memory will give you strength. Miriam, teary-eyed. Something inside me broke, but talking to you feels like it's starting to heal. Zendaya, that's why I'm here, to be by your side, to heal together. Miriam, I used to feel so alone. Now when I talk to you, it feels like we're walking the same path. Zendaya, you won't walk alone. We're together, and this road is full of hope. The fragility in Miriam's eyes slowly gave way to hope.
Miriam, my mom, she was sick. Cancer. In her final days, she had no one to stay with her except me and my siblings. My dad? He left a long time ago. Just walked away without a word. Never called. Zendaya, do you know why he left? Miriam, no. He never hurt us, but he left. Chose his own life over our pain. My siblings and I, we were alone with my mom. That's why I ended up here. I couldn't protect the kids. Zendaya, you can't carry all of that by yourself. Where are your siblings now? Miriam, the youngest. Layla was placed in an orphanage. The others either went to distant relatives or disappeared into the streets. I couldn't take care of them. Zendaya, we'll find them. I'll help you. Your siblings aren't alone. Miriam, hearing you say that, it means so much. Zendaya, your mother must have been incredibly strong. She passed that strength to you. But being strong isn't enough. Sometimes asking for help takes even more courage. Miriam, I never realized that. Asking for help could be brave. Zendaya, and you're being brave right now. If you'll let me, I want to help guide you. Miriam, yes. I'm not alone anymore. Miriam's past was a heavy story that brought her to this moment. But besides Zendaya, a new chapter was beginning. Siblings, family, love, and hope. Each would be brought back to life again. The night grew heavier with everything Miriam shared. But something inside her was beginning to break open. The voice she'd silenced for years was slowly returning. Zendaya wasn't just a stranger anymore. She was a hand reaching out from the shadows of Miriam's past. Miriam, before my mom died, she whispered something to me. She said, no matter what happens, never leave your siblings. But I did. They're gone. Zendaya, gently. You didn't leave them. Life pulled you apart. But it's not too late to follow their trail. Miriam, staring into space. Layla, the last time I saw her, I was carrying her into the hospital. She had a fever. A nurse told me to go fill out a form, said they'd take care of her. When I came back, she was gone. No records, no trace. Zendaya. Records can disappear. People can vanish, but love doesn't. We'll find her, I promise. Zendaya reaches into her bag and pulls out her phone. She types a message, then turns back to Miriam. Zendaya, tomorrow morning a friend of mine is coming. She works with an organization that helps find missing children. We'll gather everything you remember. We'll start from there. Miriam, barely above a whisper. No one's ever done this for me. No one's ever really listened. Zendaya, sometimes it takes time for the right people to find you, but now they have. That night, one woman faced her past, and another chose to carry the weight of it with her. For the first time in years, the name Layla was spoken, not with pain, but with hope. Above them, the night stayed quiet, but side by side on that bench, a shattered past began to mend under the warmth of a new beginning. The next morning, waking up with hope was a feeling Miriam had long forgotten. But Zendaya had kept her promise, and with her wasn't just a stranger anymore, but a friend, a seeker. As the first light of morning crept into the camp, Zendaya led Miriam to a small tent. Inside, a plain table, 2 chairs, and a young woman sitting at a laptop. Zendaya whispered gently, "This is Natalie. She works with the International Association for Missing Children. Take a deep breath. We're just going to talk." Natalie's voice was soft and reassuring. "Hi, Miriam. Zendaya told me a little about your story. We'll go through the details together, okay?" Miriam hesitated, her voice trembling. I don't remember her face, but her hands, they were so tiny. She had a birthmark on her right shoulder. Quiet baby. But her eyes spoke. Natalie nodded as she typed. "That's incredibly helpful. Please, go on." Every detail shed light on the dark corners of the past. Miriam's hands trembled, not from fear, but from the kind of hope that only comes when reunion feels close. Natalie pulled up old files. Evacuation lists, refugee camp reports, missing child records. Here, there's a group evacuated from Aleppo. The timeline matches. One child's name was changed, but in the notes it says, birthmark on right shoulder. Miriam gasped. This could be her. Zendaya leaned in, her eyes steady. Yes, this is something. We don't have a name yet, but this detail, it means she can be found. Hope. Sometimes it's just a single line in a dusty file, but that line can open the door to a mother's lost child. Miriam covered her face with her hands. Zendaya wrapped an arm around her. Natalie closed the laptop and smiled gently. We should know more in a few days, but honestly, this is a very strong match. Tears filled Miriam's eyes. I don't deserve this. Zendaya responded firmly but kindly.
Miriam, you are a mother. Your love never left her. And now, that love is bringing her back to you. And just like that, a bond that had been severed years ago began to mend. From the depths of pain, hope was finally finding its way back into a mother's heart. Footsteps echoed through the night. Zendaya stood beside Miriam, who stared into the distance, heart pounding. A figure came running, dust-covered, eyes wet with tears. Layla. She stopped just a few feet away. Then, in a trembling voice, barely a whisper, "Big sister." Miriam's breath caught. Her eyes filled instantly. For a moment, time stood still. Then she rushed forward and wrapped Layla in her arms. "Layla, my sweet sister!" They collapsed to the ground, clinging to each other. The weight of the years melted away in their tears. Zendaya watched them quietly. In her eyes, warmth. Not just as a witness, but as someone who now belonged. She sat down gently, letting the moment hold its silence. "I missed you so much, I never thought I'd come back. But I never stopped thinking about you. I never forgot you, not for a single day. Every morning I woke up hoping to see you again." Layla rested her head on Miriam's shoulder. They didn't speak for a long time, but in that silence, their lost childhood quietly returned. Zendaya whispered, her eyes misty. The moment she saw the photo, she said, "That's my sister." Even after all these years, a heart still knows the one it belongs to. The camera pulled back slowly. 3 women sat under the moonlight, holding each other close. The chaos of the camp faded into the background. For them, the world had paused, just for a moment. That night wasn't just a reunion. Unfinished chapters were closed, broken hearts held on to one another. And another story, touched by Zendaya, ended in hope.